Next up, smile. It seems odd that you would tell people that they should smile when they're meeting with a client, but smiling is not a natural thing for me to do. I don't walk around with a smile on. I know people who do, and it seems weird to me, but I don't. And so I have to remind myself I need to smile. Smiling takes the barriers down between you and the person that you're meeting with. It also projects confidence to the people you're meeting with, and it's calming. I am strangely discovered a weird thing about smiling. I'm a runner. And in Texas, in the summer, I spend a lot of time on a treadmill running because it's too damn hot outside. I don't run in 105-degree heat. I don't want to run that badly. But the gym that I run in on the treadmill has a mirror directly in front of me, which is weird as well. But I have noticed that if I am struggling, I'm on a long run and I am really struggling to keep the pace up, if I look in the mirror and smile, I can literally bring my heart rate down. It has that, you can watch the heart rate, because I monitor my heart rate the whole time I'm running. I can see my heart rate come down. And that's the effect also that happens to the people that you're communicating with. Questions, ask questions. So step one, gather information. It's the perfect time to gather information. You've got the decision makers present that you need. You've got to ask a lot of questions. And I think it's important that you address questions to both parties. So it's not uncommon if you have a couple, one of the people kind of takes the dominant role in verbal communication in a public environment. The other person takes the back seat. They don't talk a lot. But what happens a lot of time is when they get home, the person who doesn't talk a lot kind of controls the situation as well. They're more controlling in the private part of their life. So you want to make sure you're directing questions to both people, engaging all the people who are decision makers, so you're getting feedback from them. If you just allow someone to be quiet, they might not be sharing a lot of things that are important to them that may have a setback, that may cause a setback later on. So this is your chance, obviously, to really understand what the buyer's needs are, what their time frame is, and just as importantly, what their motivation level is. Learning motivation will save you tons of time down the road. And finding out what motivates all the decision makers is important too, because one motivating factor may not be the same for both. So I think that one of the things that I have learned is that in skipping the presentation, you end up spending more time talking about all these things throughout the process because you haven't thoroughly addressed them up front. So the next important thing, once you've asked your questions, you got to listen. So all of our agents go through a 30-day to success training program before we release them to work with clients. And week number 1 of the 30-day program, they learn the buyer consultation, memorize the slides, they know exactly what they're going to talk about. They do mock presentations with their coach so that they're prepared to do it. And we also talk to them about listening. I have interviewed hundreds of potential agents over the last 25 years. And I hear a lot of them when they come in, they'll say, all my friends said I would be a great agent. And so that's what got me interested in real estate. They said, I will be a fantastic agent. And there's one quality every one of those people has. They love to talk. And they're I personality types. For whatever reason, the world believes I personality types are the world's best real estate agents. And so they come to us. And what I found is I personality types have a lot of great traits that do make them great agents. But one of them that they don't usually possess is the ability to properly listen to their client. They're too busy talking, too busy giving information and not absorbing information. So we spend a lot of time talking about listening. So in our course, there is an article that we put in there, and it's called How to Listen People into Buying. And these are my key takeaways from that article. One is you got to open your mind, your eyes, your ears, to be receptive to what you're hearing. You got to just put your mindset in, I am going to receive this information from these people. And you got to start listening from the very beginning. And you got to commit to listening to them all the way through. And then, of course, you want to focus on what they're hearing and what they're saying instead of trying to make assumptions and figure out what they really mean. So it's a process of continuing to ask questions. rather than making assumptions about what they're saying. So it's a lot of questions. It takes time. So you don't want to read into those things. Obviously, you don't want to interrupt anybody. You want to get them to open up and get in the flow of sharing information with you. This is one of the most difficult things for me to do. I have a strong D personality type. Long stories just drive me bonkers. And if someone goes on this long, rambling thing about whatever it is, experience that they had, I just have to really focus on, okay, I've got to listen, I got to keep going, I got to stay tuned in. I can't shut them down. And so you got to think about that. There are, as we learned this morning in the class, a vast majority of people are S personality types. S personality types, they're more open about sharing and talking about feelings and all those kind of things. So I have to consciously tune into those things and listen to them. And then we talked about this already, but controlling outside interruptions and distractions is key as well.